Hi, I'm just doing the MacBook. Oh, it didn't work. I know, no audio. Can you hear me now, though? You can. I can see the thing going, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We restricted like 15 minutes ago. All right. Yeah. Screensaver, but I'm sorry. So, come over to Twitch if you want to learn why I hate you all so much. I'm only allowed to actively hate you one day per week, and today is the day. So, and I do hate you. I hate you. Like, I hate Americans so much. The only thing that keeps me going is remembering that Americans don't choose to be this way. Not just Americans, anybody with access to Western media. You are a byproduct of the American ruling class. It is not in your core to be like this. This is not who you really are. And this is why when you go to other places, they go, we know you're not your government, right? You're ignorant. You're uneducated. Ignorant in the true sense of the word. You're uneducated about the world. That's not even your fault, right? When I get mad at you, when I say I hate you, it's not even you. I look at you and I see a byproduct of American capitalism, the evils of capitalism, the evils of imperialism, the intentional dumbing down of our working class, the illiteracy crisis, right? They do that on purpose. You're being fucked with. And I get mad. I get so mad because actually I know it's not you. And it's hard. It's not. Our government does this to you. Right? And it's because of ignorance. It's because you don't have access to education. You don't have access to the right info. So, I hate you. I hate you a lot sometimes. I'm not going to lie. But that's an emotional response, not a rational response. And rationally, when I can deconstruct that hatred, when I deconstruct that anger, I know it's because we as an American, we are kept intentionally dumbed down, intentionally illiterate, intentionally fucking stupid, right? So, what we do over on our Twitch stream, if you want to come join us on Twitch, is we try to break through that. We try to depropagandize ourselves. We look at current events usually. We look at current events over there, and we try to tell ourselves what about what we're reading is propaganda? What's being reported not quite correct? What's actually going on in the world? What's the historical context for this? It's missing in how it's being discussed. And that is our goal. It is to stay up to date on current events, right? That's our goal. So let's come on over to our Twitch. You can join us there. It's helpful to talk to other people who also are educated, who know what's going on in the world. Like, we are extremely propagandized, and it makes us evil. And here's the thing is that, like, it's not like you're not held accountable for the evil shit you've believed or done, or the way your beliefs have caused harm to other people. You should feel shame for that. You should be accountable, right? I didn't come out of the womb knowing everything perfect and great about the world. I feel shame. I try to hold myself accountable for things I got wrong in the past that harmed people, right? But that doesn't mean that you don't do more, move forward, and try to do better. That's important. That's what you got to do. So come unlearn your capitalist brainwashing, as Chong the Beast says. Yes, come unlearn it. Come unlearn it over here with us on Twitch. I'm gonna grab my microphone. You guys hold on a second. Deep. Hi. They are a teenager. It wasn't just one person. It was a bunch of people. I don't know who the teenager was because I wasn't reading the chat, but it was a bunch of people. It was a guy. It was like an adult man at first. So I don't know about whatever teenager showed up later. But it was like an adult man. That was a weirdo. Emily? Oh, I didn't see Emily. I didn't see an Emily. No, that's not who I was responding to. But maybe an Emily showed up and was talking. Thank you. Thank you. It was a guy at first. Oh, 14. Yeah, it was an adult man at first. I didn't see Emily. Because when I'm yelling at them, I don't look at the chat. First time chat. I'll do it again. You got a 12-year-old nephew you want to come over here, have me scream at him? I'll do it to him too. Yeah. I didn't. Emily, if you're out there, I didn't see you. I started this rant because of some adult fucking weird guy, some weird man, pissed me off. But you'll get there. Yeah, I'm only mean on TikTok. And also, today's Fuck Off Friday. This is where I'm intentionally mean to people to try to get them to come over onto our Twitch. We do different techniques on different days. But yeah, come over to Twitch if you want to learn more. It's okay. But you should know that we are very, very evil. And our citizens are evil. And everybody is evil. And what we do is evil in the world. But the wildest part is that, like, you don't have to be martyrs to that. I think, like, a lot of politics, like, if we really think about this, think about the liberal perspective on politics. So much of it is about trying to atone for your sins. Oh, like, I don't want to be a bad person. I don't want to look bad. I want to do all these things, right? It's how you present yourself in the world, right? You want to look good. You feel so much guilt for when you've done things that don't look good, that people don't like. But it doesn't really give you a path to channel that into. You're just perpetually in this state where you're depressed and you're angry and you're frustrated and you feel bad about yourself and you feel bad about your actions. And you hate your government and you feel helpless. And I think when you actually take a second to learn about socialism, about Marxism-Leninism, what it is, first of all, you understand these things are systemic. You understand that, like, of course I was fucking stupid about North Korea. I live in the United States. They intentionally try to make you fucking stupid about everything, including your political enemies, right? Including your political enemies. Of course. You understand that. You understand that to be part of a system, right? And then you understand everything is pretty much connected to that one same system. And then you understand that there's actually a path to change that one system, and that's socialism. And you understand what socialism really is, and you understand there's a clear-cut way, a strategy to try to achieve that. So I think that's what really helps. Liberalism leaves you feeling helpless, frustrated, directionless, with nowhere to go. When you find socialism, actual socialism, scientific socialism, Marxism, Marxist-Leninism, you are reinvigorated with purpose and understanding of the world and a direction you want to go, right? Like Brody over here on Real Chat says, we get told stupid things about North Korea, the DPRK. Of course you believe stupid things about the DPRK. That's what you hear. And you should feel bad about it. You should be like, oh, I fucked up bad. And people should know. And people should know that they are fucking up bad when they do that. That doesn't mean that, you know, you hate yourself so much forever, for all time over it. You recognize that, yeah, you fucked up because you're part of the system that wants you to fuck up. So you go, yeah, I fucked up. And then you carry on. And that's it. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so come on over, join us on Twitch. I'm not actually that mean. This is a thing we do on Fuck Off Friday. I'm allowed to yell. I'm encouraged to yell on Fuck Off Friday. Yeah, life would be easier, right, if you're liberal, right? You just blame the Voter Rights Act getting gutted on Donald Trump and carry on with your day. There was an old man and a kid. Yeah, there was an old man and a kid I was yelling at. I don't know if he's old, but he was like a faceless profile kind of guy, so I assume he's old. They do make me yell. They do make me yell. Okay. So we actually talk about the European Union a lot over on our Twitch stream. So come join us on Twitch. It's Madeline Pendleton there with no underscore. Oh, Virgo. I mean, but you should hear that. An ancient man, the oldest man who ever lived, and a literal newborn baby were arguing with me. Yeah. A man 600 years old. Baby. 2 months. 2 hours. 2 days. Well, you know, people told me I was a bad person when I was 14. It helped me. I learned. Okay, so come on over. Come on over to learn about the world. Come on over. Yes, I'm late. I'm always late. We've been doing Fuck Off Friday, so I've been screaming. I've been ranting over on TikTok. A 14-year-old caught some strays. But yeah, it happens to the best of us. It's what you gotta do. So come over. How many people do we have in Real Chat now? All 14-year-olds are bad people. That's another thing. All 14-year-olds are bad people. 158. Oh, we can do better. We can do better. It's because of the quirk hair. It's because I'm quirked up with the hair. That's why. That's why. No, I don't hate you at all. I don't hate you at all. We got to do that shit. We have to do that shit. That's how people learn. That's how people learn. You know? Sometimes it's good to yell too. German mouth. Get in a room. Yell it out. Also, I just am very animated when I talk. Also, so yeah. We were doing Fuck Off Friday. Oops. Look, I'm gonna say the way ageism is okay is that if you are functionally senile, you should not be in charge of a country. That's my hot take on ageism. If you don't remember what year it is, I don't want you anywhere near a legislative process that controls an entire country. And I don't think that's ageist to say. Let them retire. Why are they still being expected to work? At a certain point, it's elder abuse, right? Is there any truth to people eating their cats and dogs in China in the past? Look, probably. I don't know. There were famines. There were, 27 famines in China before the communists took over. There was one famine after the communists took over, and they were bad. I'm sure people did resort to eating animals. Yeah, I mean, people eat animals not when there's famine. So yeah, I'm sure people did. Yeah, that's very, very true. And squirrel, yeah, I think so. Your grandma used to eat rabbits, yeah. Yeah, why do they want to work at that? That's what I'm wondering. Why, when I'm 80 years old, there's no way in hell I want to have a job. Right? We're working on the communist revolution, so we don't have to have jobs at 80 years old. You're almost 60, exactly. I'm 40, I'm ready to retire. I'm good. I worked 26 years. That feels like enough. Why do I got to keep working more? I've already done 26 years. You know? My grandpa eats anything he sees in the road. He'll pull over and shoot it. I kind of respect it, at least. He's doing the dirty work himself. As a vegan, I kind of respect your grandpa's method. Oh. Yeah, women retire at 55 in China. Men have to work a little bit longer. I kind of like it. Yeah, I'm just of the opinion that if culture doesn't consider the same animals my culture does to be domesticated or pets, it's not a big deal. That's just how the culture developed. I feel the same way. I feel the same way. Grandpa Vulture confirms. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna hang up here. I've already forgot you were here. If I'm being perfectly honest, ADHD brain. Come join us over on Twitch though. It's twitch.tv/Madeline Pendleton. It's fun, and we're gonna be talking. We're gonna get a crash course in campism and how the world works today. Because we're gonna have a special activity for the chat. We're gonna fill in the map, and I think that I can connect my phone camera to it. So we're gonna end the Burger Reich stream. Yes, come join us over on Twitch. I'm less angry over there. Okay, bye. Hi. How's it going? How's it going, everybody? Okay, you don't know what the map is. I downloaded an app that lets you make maps. And I was like, I'm going to make the literal camps. Let me see if I can add this in here somewhere. Okay. I think that I can do... Hold on. No. I feel like there's got to be a way where I can build in my phone. The Burger Mines. Video capture device. Yes. Oh, no, it's just going to be my... Okay, I don't think I can do it. Maybe there's a web client. Let's see if there's a web client. Otherwise, I'm going to have to keep doing screenshots and shit. It's not going to be fun. Map chart app. I bet I can download it on my computer. So, for anybody not aware, what I am doing is we are going to make a map of the literal camps that the world is divided in. We are camp maxing today. People like to call us campus, right? Marxist-Leninists, they like to call us campus. And I'm not personally insulted by that. I think that is a very realistic and practical way to perceive us and talk about us. We do believe the world operates in camps. We believe that people form alliances naturally in the world. There are imperial powers seeking to harm and exploit others. When we talk about things like first world, second world, third world, right? That comes literally from the camps. The first world, as we think of it, was people allied with the West, with the United States. Oh my God, they do have a web app. And that's really where it came from. And the second world was people who were allied with the USSR, and the third world was people who were unaligned. And we'll start fresh. Maybe we'll start fresh. Let's start fresh. We'll make a new one. We'll make a new map. All right. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about what the current camps are, and we're going to literally fill in. Here on this is an app that helps you build maps. And we're going to fill in what the literal camps of today are. We don't have the first world, second world, third world anymore like we did, obviously, because the USSR doesn't exist. So we're going to do what our version of that is. And I had identified 5 camps in the world that we'll get into. So the 5 camps are Evil Empire, that's the United States and our allies. The Resistance, which would be the people actively fighting back against us. And the third is countries that are cucked, right? Countries that are cucked by us. They're like forced to be like our little vassals. They don't necessarily love it, but they're stuck there. something that I call cucked brat, which is they are definitely cucked by us, but they are not reliably on our side. Sometimes they speak out, sometimes they're difficult, sometimes they're petulant. And then the fifth category is defiant, which are countries that are cucked. They don't have a lot of resources, maybe, but they are defiant to the United States, and they don't like us, even if they don't have the resources to actively fight back against us. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And we're going to fill it all in together. It's a little bit different than what we usually do, but it will involve a lot of conversation about current events, because the nature of these things is constantly changing, right? It's constantly changing. We look at what's going on in Turkey. Turkey's whole MO is shifting right now. So it's going to involve a lot of convo about current events and the news and what's been going on. It's probably going to involve us looking up certain things in the news to really get an idea about how we're going to do this. So it's going to be fun for us. It's going to be fun. Well, 14-year-olds can be brats sometimes. They need to be, put in their place. So yeah. Before we get into it, though, we're going to do our starting off. We're going to start off with our 10-minute Q&A, general questions you can ask about me, about the world, about anything, and we will answer them. I got 10 minutes on the clock. Now, all right, who's got questions? What do we have? What's going on with everybody? It is May Day also. Happy May Day to all who celebrate. When am I going to visit Canada? I don't know. I have no desire to visit Canada, but it's so close. I probably should. Am I going to watch the Michael Jackson movie? No, probably not. I hate anything celebrity culture. What is third worldism? So I tend to conflate third worldism with third wayism, but maybe that is not a super developed understanding of third worldism. So somebody correct me if I'm wrong on this. But basically, during the whole First World, Second World thing, you had the United States, and then you had the USSR, and we were fighting each other or whatever. You had a lot of countries that were considered the third world because they weren't aligned. Now, a lot of these countries realistically understood they could not afford to and were not interested in getting caught in the crosshairs between these superpowers fighting. They wanted some protection for themselves and their country and their resources from the United States, but they also did not want to go full communist because they didn't want to invoke the ire, usually, of the United States just from being aligned with the communist kind of front. So they would often do this thing that's we sometimes call third wayism. And my understanding of third worldism is that it fits into this. Oh, hi. Oh my God, Emily, you made it. Okay, great. You'll like it here. It's chill here, actually. I have to be dramatic on TikTok to get people over here. So, oh, hold on. Let me see if I can reconnect it to the mic now. Okay, I think the audio is going to be better for everybody now. So, non-aligned until that became an actual formal thing, the non-aligned movement, exactly. So the idea behind a lot of these third way kind of policies and third worldism is like, we'll form our own alliances with each other, right? We'll work together. Sometimes it would look like the manifestation of Pan-Africanist movements on the continent of Africa sometimes. Like, that's kind of Gaddafi. I associate Gaddafi with third wayism, third worldism. And we would want to protect our assets without doing full-blown communism. We're not doing capitalism. We're not doing communism. We're doing a third separate thing. So that was kind of the motive, to not get fucked with by the United States. But we see it ultimately didn't help them not get fucked with, because the second they did anything that threatened Western power, like nationalize oil, right? Modest land reform, they still got the brute force of the United States and the evil empire basically raining down upon them as though they had been full-blown communists. And they didn't have the USSR on their side to back them up when that happened. So it ended up being harmful, even though you understand the motives for it. So does anybody else who maybe is more familiar with third worldism specifically, because again, this is like third wayism is how I've been taught this, and I associate that as being the same, but does anybody maybe have anything they want to add in that's useful information about third worldism specifically? You were uncomforted. We all were. Propose gold dinar, immediately get overthrown. Gaddafi. Exactly. Yeah. There's nobody has any corrections for me there. Okay. So that's my understanding. So if anybody is watching this somewhere else later and you've got a correction you think is important, please feel free to pitch in, because again, third worldism is not, I usually have called it third wayism. So I don't know if we're talking about different things or not. And I just want to clarify that. Okay, next questions. What actually happened during the Holodomor? That's just the one I saw, sorry. It was at the top of the comments. So it was a famine. It was a naturally occurring famine that had been affecting the area of Ukraine and Kazakhstan going back years. like decades. This famine would happen all the time, and there were a couple unique things that made the Holodomor a worse famine even than usual. The unique considerations were this: first of all, before it happened, the kulaks, who were the wealthy farming class, right, the like capitalist farmers, they had gotten very, very upset at the USSR, and they didn't want to collectivize or share anything. They wanted to continue to be capitalist. So in protest, they killed their cattle and they burned their crops and fields, which meant that that affected the amount of food they had on hand, basically. The famine hits. The causes of the famine were natural. It was, first of all, an early, what did they call it? A false spring, someone called it in the chat. Premature heat pattern made the plants bloom too soon, and then they died because then cold came again. So it's a unique weather pattern that was bad. And there was also, because of some unique weather patterns, there was an increase in pestilence, I guess, like pests, bugs, things like that. They were destructive for the crops. So it's not true that Stalin intentionally tried to starve people. No. In fact, the USSR, when they realized the severity of the famine, again, because this has been something naturally recurring in the region, when they realized, like, oh, this is worse than usual, they redirected a lot of resources into the region to try to help people. But it ended up being pretty bad. It was a very, very, very bad famine. Now, the West politicized this highly. And because the USSR knew the West was going to politicize it, they tried to keep it quiet, which ultimately kind of backfired on them, I think. But you understand why. And then what ended up happening is Western capitalists, like in the United States, like newspaper owners, things like that, they realized they could use this and blow it up to a big thing. Why? Well, if you think about what was happening in the 1930s in the United States and 1920s, the United States had suffered a massive depression, and it was catastrophic for Americans, and they had been looking at the successes of the new USSR, right? They were like, that looks good. So the fact that there was this thing that was bad that had happened in the USSR that could be politicized, the American capitalist owning class really didn't want to miss that opportunity. So they blew this up in our newspapers. They inflated the numbers to massive amounts of people who died, which doesn't mean people didn't die. People definitely died and it was bad. But they added zeros onto the ends of numbers of people who had died, kind of a vibe, right? A million people died, right? Rather than what was actually going on. And they falsified the claims to turn it into an intentional genocide when it wasn't. It was a famine that had happened in the region going back years and years and years and years. And you can see famines happen in this region over and over and over again. And I will say, it was the last famine that happened in that region. Why? Because the USSR found a way to stop it from ever happening again through collectivization of farming. So collectivization of farming, contrary to popular belief, did not cause that. It actually stopped that recurring famine from ever occurring again. 11 bajillion. And there is a paper on this that I always recommend to people. It's written by Mark B. Tauger, Tauger, if you guys want to check it out. I like that. Okay, Joe Zachar has an addition to Pan-Africanism. A lot of African military groups are historically wings of armed conservative movements, much like in other places. Many paramilitaries have been revealed to be involved with foreign spending, otherwise gained prominence through acts of pillaging. Pan-Africanists were on the ground while this was happening and formed citizen groups to combat this and to protect vulnerable groups from civil conflict and or genocide. Great addition. Thank you. You literally have an unstoppable love for Taylor Swift and you need help. You're communist, you're vegan. You stop buying brands you don't like. You literally can't help loving Taylor Swift. You know what? After the communist revolution, Taylor Swift will be nationalized. We will nationalize the Taylor Swift. The capitalist kulaks killed millions. I mean, it wasn't just them. The famine was naturally occurring too. But they certainly didn't fucking help when they... I believe the figures were they slaughtered millions of heads of cattle and they burnt millions of hectares of land. That's what I believe off the top of my head the figures were. Okay, opinions of Eritrea, Turkmenistan, and Nicaragua. I don't feel like I know enough about these places to add anything substantial other than the only thing I know that most people don't know about Nicaragua comes from my childhood friend growing up was dumped in Fresno by the CIA. Her mom was, rather, because her mom had been the daughter of someone high up in the U.S.-backed dictatorship in Nicaragua, which was overthrown by the Sandinistas, and that gives some interesting perspectives. That's kind of it. I don't know that I have anything. That's an area I'd like to learn more about, so I wouldn't really feel comfortable talking like I know a bunch about it. Kubashi says, what is your understanding of the third way? My understanding of the term is that it's a cheeky way to call fascism without using the F word outright. So I always interpreted third way not to be about fascism, but to be about third worldist countries wanting basically to do communism, but not wanting to get in trouble with the West for doing communism. That was always my interpretation of it. But I could see other people calling fascism a third way as well. Yeah, the kulaks definitely did not help with their actions. That is true. Okay, well, let's see what else we got here. We're nationalizing Taylor Swift, and she's going in a re-education camp. Damn it. Yes. Will I eventually do episodes on communist Albania? Probably. Yeah, I am interested in doing an episode on Albania, certainly. South Africa has what we call a mixed economy. No, don't nationalize her. Okay, I don't know. Any other questions? What other questions we have? Metal straw. Oh, on teeth. Horrible. Anything else? Any other questions? Make edits of Taylor Swift as a tanky. Tanky Swift. They were helping the people of Cuba. Yes, we love Cuba. We love Cuba. We're nationalizing the women. Yeah, Tanky Swift. There's this Instagram clothing company that's like just a DIY clothing company. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but they make communist clothes. They put like Lenin and hammers and sickles on things. Have you guys seen that? Okay, Big Gotco from Wikipedia. The third way is a prominently centrist political position that attempts to reconcile center-right and center-left politics by synthesizing a combination of economically liberal and social democratic economic policies. The third way is a reconceptualization of social democracy. It supports workfare instead of welfare, work training programs, educational opportunities, other government programs. Yes, I think that clocks. And in the third world version, in my understanding, was always more that, but like we're protecting our natural resources more. Mayday videos, I probably will. I'm trying to get back into my normal way of making content where it would be not all political, it'd be other things as well, so we'll work on that. Third position. Third position is a set of neo-fascist political ideologies that were first described in West Europe. Okay, thank you, Cara. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'd never heard that, but third position makes sense, yeah. Yes. The baby possum video, wasn't it so cute? I'd never seen a baby possum before. It was so adorable. Today is May Day. Yes. Okay. Well, there's our Q&A period. All right. So, today, yes, usually what we do here is we talk about current events and we talk about the news. But today we are doing a special project where we are giving in to the campism and we are literally going to fill in a camp map together, which will involve a lot of conversation about politics. So this is the app we're going to use. We'll do dark mode for all you psychos. Oh, it's too dark. Is it? No, it's fine. Okay. And we are going to do a world map. It's ugly. We're gonna do the simple one, and we're gonna fill in basically with different colors to represent different things. So we're gonna have conversations. You're into this topic, you know? Hater is here. We're doing it, and I think it just has a lot to do. I was really inspired to start doing this before the turkey thing, and then the turkey thing. I was like, we should do this as a group. So, obviously, the first one we're going to do is the United States, which is Big Bad. So, filling in Big Bad, I'm going to make it this. What's a scary color? What's the scariest color? Maybe this purple is sinister. I don't know the difference between an opossum and a possum. Yellow, orange. Okay, yeah. I like it. We'll do this. All right. This is going to be I'm so glad there's a desktop version. So we can fill this in, right? Okay, right away. And then we get this, and we can give it a little title. Oops, you just adjust it. Where is it? Yes. No. Key. How do I freaking do the key? Legend. Show legend, yes. Like, where do we write what it is on here? This is the exact same one I was doing on my phone, but on my phone it was different. Yes, here. It was just this. It was the first thing I clicked. Oh my god. Fucking kill me. Okay. Evil Empire. So this is starting out. All right. So here's where we're starting. And the first thing I do when I think about this is think about the countries that right now are really our proxies. I think the most obvious one that we all think of is going to be Israel, right? And Israel, and you guys are going to get to see me struggle like an American with the map. Israel is so tiny, whereas it's down here, because it's not real. It's so wild. This little place right there, right? Because it's not real. That's very, very evil. And we know right away Palestine is part of the resistance. So what's everybody's favorite color? What's a color you guys like? Yeah, we can make a screenshot of it. Exactly. Tiny place, 90 nukes. Yeah. Yeah. Pink, green, red, blue, red. Okay, red. But not all of them are communists. So maybe we'll go pink. Green. Let's go pink. Let's go pink. Let's go pink. Because they're not, some of them aren't communists, but they're commie adjacent. Oh, it's so ugly. Okay, that's fine now. All right. So that's the resistance. All right. These are the people that are currently fighting the resistance. So similar is Iran, the resistance. And I think we all know North Korea, the resistance, right? That's Malaysia. Where the fuck's my Korean peninsula? Here she is. Okay. Great. Where pink goes. Yes. Pink and orange. Very World War II. Who else is part of that? Russia is part of the resistance, very obviously. Cuba is part of the resistance. Get in there. Hi. Okay. I don't know why I sounded like the fairy from Zelda when I did that. Oh, China. Duh, China. Yes. Okay. Yeah, the contrast is not great. Yeah. Thank you. Cuba. Does anybody else? Do you think Yemen? Do we think Yemen for sure? Is it just the Houthis? Do we consider all of Yemen or just the Houthi? I think I consider them. We can change it if we want. Vietnam and Laos? Yes. Navi? Yes. Let's do Vietnam and Laos. I like that. Oh my God. My fucking... Holding it down. Yes. All Yemen, Laos. Yes. Yeah, we can change the colors on their own pretty easily after we do this. Lebanon. Yes. Poor Lebanon. Where are you, Lebanon? Lebby, where are you? There you are. No, not Syria. Syria, though, complicated. Erase. Okay. Color. Lebanon. Ireland. I don't think Ireland. Ireland, historically, yes, but think about their government. Think about the difference between the government and the people. Yeah, see, not Lebanon. This is what I thought, Bisco Witch. Hezbollah is resisting, but not Lebanon as a country. So I'm going to undo Lebanon because this was my same thought, Lebanon. All right, so we're going to start with the really obvious ones. Burkina Faso, great. We're just doing the ones that are so obvious to start, and then we're going to go fill in the more hard and difficult ones. Oh, shit, I'm not on mode here. Color. Burkina Faso, yes. Okay. All right, so I think this is good. Mali, Lebanon and Yemen could be different colors, so that some factions are resisting and the main legal government faction isn't. Yeah, so we have options for that. We have defiant or we have cucked brat. And so it could be either way. We could also add like a separate section that's like politically unstable or like in dispute or something like that. We could do that. Radical movements with a capitalist government. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. We could have a different category for that. Yeah. Brat needs to be green? Okay, yeah, brat. Cucked brat can be green. Okay, we'll get there. All right. So let's do the ones that are now obviously more evil, okay? So the ones that are obviously part of the evil empire. I'm going to say Argentina. Does anybody have... They're ours now. We took them. We did them. France. But is France currently? South Korea, definitely. So I'm thinking more of our vassal states to start. Like, who is part of our empire? Like, who would you think of as part of the U.S. empire? Right? Do you think the UK? Okay. Australia, definitely. Australia helped us do a bunch of fucked shit. Okay, everybody's doing a lot. That's good. The UK? Okay, we'll do the UK. The UK is pretty cucked to us. Okay. South Korea, yes. Oh, North Macedonia. Fuck. North Macedonia. Oh my God. I feel so stupid. It's North Macedonia. It's not in Africa, is it? England? Ukraine. El Salvador. Hold on. Nobody judge my horrible... I'm really, really bad at geography. I'm just going to put that right out of the gate. Okay, Ukraine. Here, yes. Oh, you know what? Belarus, I think, is the resistance. Would you guys agree? I think Belarus is the resistance. I'm going to fill it in with pink, but if anybody disagrees, we can change it. Argentina, yeah, Germany. Germany. Do we think Germany? Definitely. Philippines, yes. Hold on, Argentina, yes. So really, remember, these are places that it's not disputed, like their government, oh, Japan, definitely. Their government is like either completely under our control, like they are basically us, or alternatively, it's that their own version of super, super fucking evil that's currently ruining the world, right? So Japan, I would say yes. France, do you guys think? El Salvador, France. So the questions are El Salvador, France, Germany. Okay, so but here's the thing. I don't think a lot of these European countries, like I wouldn't say this about Germany, so I'm going to remove it, but tell me if I'm wrong. I think a lot of them are like cucks to us, because think about how freaked out Europe is right now with the United States. They're flipping out, right? Because they're politically very weak, but, you know, Saudi Arabia is an interesting one too. So I don't know about these places. To me, I think that they are cucks of us now. Historically evil, but not current. And this is what I think, first time chat, only slimes. Think about current, not think about in the past. Think about current. Oh, Balkans. Jesus fucking Christ. Why did I think it was in Africa? I'm so stupid. So what is going on currently with these people? Finland, yes. Azerbaijan, I think, is evil. Azerbaijan, I think, is actively a part of our evil resistance. Where the fuck is Azerbaijan? Here it is. That wasn't so bad. And I would say Armenia, part of the evil empire. And then I think Armenia, I would classify as the resistance. What do you guys think about Armenia? And we will go through everything after this. We'll go through every single continent piece by piece. And we might have to look things up and talk about things. UAE, do you guys think UAE though? Because UAE kind of just goes where the money is. So sometimes they end up siding with China and shit. Right? So... Oh, also because of Greenland, I think Greenland is defiant now, right? Yes, I definitely put ROC. Oh, not Taiwan. Yeah. Definitely I would put ROC in there. Are they count? Boom. Yeah, they count them as their own country. Weird political decision to make map chart app, but okay. I'll put it in there. Azerbaijan is helping Israel. Azerbaijan is fucking up Armenia. Okay, I agree with all this. Okay, Turkey... I would have originally said Turkey was part of the evil empire, but based on what we talked about yesterday, they're switching it up a little bit. So I'm gonna hold off on putting Turkey in there. Yeah, I think Armenia is the resistance. Do you guys think Armenia is the resistance? Yeah, we did South Korea. Yes. UAE, I kind of think is a cucked brat. That's what I think about UAE. Yeah. Okay. I think Armenia is the resistance. I do. Okay, I'm putting Armenia as the resistance. You know, I live really close to Glendale, California. I like System of a Down. I have to side with my Armenian brothers and sisters on this. All right. So I think these... Oh. What about Somaliland's not going to be its own thing on here, is it? Fucking geography is so embarrassing. Where are you? Somalia. So Somaliland isn't separated out. So where do we want to put... Oh, Qatar. See, I would think that these things are more cucked energy. Like Iraq, super cucked now, right? Armenian. It means we will crush the state of Azerbaijan. Long live Armenia. Yes. Yeah, Somaliland is pure Western vassal. It's not even on here, though. So that's going to be interesting. UAE just left OPEC. That makes them a little more evil. Do we think they're their own evil entity, or do we want to say they're cucked? Qatar is mainly... Yeah, we'll do Qatar. Qatar is good, yeah. To add. No, wrong color. Bad color. Where's my bad color? Yeah. Okay. UAE for Sudan. Okay, we'll do UAE. Do we think they're cucked, or do they think they're their own? They're cucked by the West. Somalia just closed shipping to Israel. You think South Africa? I also think South Africa is cucked brat. But let's not get there yet. Let's only do the big evil and the big resistance. Okay. How is OPEC less evil? Because isn't the United States always fighting with OPEC? Isn't that like it's a conflict of interest with the United States advances most of the time? What do you guys think, though? This is why it's good to have these conversations. Be like, that's always my impression, but yeah, Iraq is getting kind of mad at us. They're kind of defiant. OPEC does hold up petrodollar. You're right. You're right. DJ Mule. So it's less about how much we think their country is ethical within its own borders, right? It's more about how they fit into the global camps. It's more about geopolitics and foreign policy, how we're doing this. OPEC became captured after the oil crisis in the 70s. Yes. Okay, that makes more sense. You guys know also, a lot of my stuff about history it can mess me up with current events if I'm like, oh, I didn't keep up with that. So what is global camps, Emily says? So basically, the way to think about the world is that it's divided into groups of people who are allying with each other to work towards common goals and fighting with people who get in the way of their goals. And it's helpful to know what the camps are because when you look at the map, you understand. Now, one of the things I'm going to show you, just so you understand what this is you can look at the maps of voting records in the UN, and they're always really, really interesting. So what was the one, the UN voting on slavery just happened or something like that? You guys know what I'm talking about? 67 chatter's gone. Map or chart or something like that. Where is it? There was this like graphic. You guys know that graphic I'm talking about that's like black and red and green with all the UN voting records? Does anybody have the link to it? It looks like this. They look like this. Here we go. Screen share, fork. Yeah, okay. So this is about slavery, condemning slavery. And you can see these, right? These are all the countries, for example, that voted on slavery. And this stuff's really, really helpful to look at, right? So it's this list of how everybody voted in terms of slavery. Now, think about, Israel voted not to condemn slavery. The United States voted not to condemn slavery. Argentina voted not to condemn slavery. And you might look at this and be like, why the fuck would Argentina not vote to condemn slavery? But if you look at everybody and then you look at this, you're like, oh, well, that makes sense. They're part of the evil empire. Yeah, they would side with us. They would do what we wanted. And if we didn't want to do that, they wouldn't, Sarcasm, we're building the camp map. So this is the kind of stuff that is really, really helpful to look at as well. It's always the same map. It's always the same map. If you look at the map of countries that condemn China Uyghurs. I have the link in my document if not. Oh, the Diplomat. This is the one I linked to. It's the Diplomat one. It's perfect. Look at this map. This is a map of the countries in red who stand with China's policies on Uyghur people. And blue is who doesn't. And it's always the same map. You're going to see some version of this. You're going to see the United States and Europe always in alliance. And then you're going to see usually Australia, Japan, things like that happening. Yes. Condemning Nazism. That's another great one. UN vote to condemn Nazi. Just one. Just one Nazi. They're just going to condemn one. Okay. So then you look and it's like, oh, all right. Who didn't vote to condemn Nazis? The United States, the United Kingdom, Ukraine, very obviously, right? These maps tell you a lot about the world. There's only one Nazi. Only one. So that's what's going on. So, okay. What do you mean? What's the gray mean? On here or on the map? On our map. We haven't filled it in yet. Okay, so countries that are a part of BRICS. Yes, but it's not always. Because, is Brazil really the resistance? Is Brazil there? I don't know. I don't know if Brazil, we would count the resistance, right? No, but they're part of BRICS, aren't they? Yeah, they're the B in BRICS. Evil empire should be white because it's should we change it to white? It'll look weird on the map though. Maybe I can make the background of the map a color. No. It'll just blend in. India's also trouble. Okay. So here's what we've got now. We have this, I think, is the biggest players. Now let's go in continent by continent and fill things in. Now the other categories that we have, let me get these. The other ones we're going to have are going to be, can I add from here? No. Defiant. I say cucked, and then I say a cucked brat. You just switch the orange for blue? We can do that. Let's see. On here, yes, we can easily go in there. Aww, gender. Gender. We did gender. The B in brick stands for B China. Okay. All right. So let's go in. So I would say Canada is a good example of a country that's super cocked to us, right? That's what I would say. I don't think Canada's a brat, though. Do you think Canada's a brat? Do you guys think Canada's a brat or no? And we can do polls, too, on this to see what everybody thinks. I think it's just cucked. I think it's just straight up cucked. Okay, so we can make our cuck color different blue, lighter blue, like this. Like that. Not brat, just cuck. Cooked. All right. Mexico, though, defiant. Not a cucked brat even. They're defiant. They're like, fuck this, right? So, defiant, I'm going to go purple. We can also change, like, the color of the text and stuff, if I remember correctly on here. How do I change the color on the text? Settings. Map. Yes. Background color. We can make the background color water. And then we can change all the colors. Border color. Black. Yes. Okay. Border with medium. Default color. Country names color. Black. Okay. All right. What do we think? And then do you want to make the evil empire white for white supremacy? You're getting so attached to it. It's fun, right? It's fun. We can make the evil empire bright white. Where the fuck is the white? Is it this? This looks like white. Oh, it's so boring though. Isn't it boring? Yeah, it is cucked. Oh, we think it's cucked brat. Really? Do you think they are cucked to us? I think they're more defiant. I think they're more like fuck the United States in their words. Switch back to blue. Okay, hold on. I'm like, what if it's green? What if it's... We could choose the colors later. We could probably fix the colors later. And then I'll do these. Maybe we'll make... Yeah, okay. All right. So you do think... You guys think... Let's think about Mexico. Do you guys... Virgo, do you want to do a poll on whether Mexico is defiant or is a cucked brat? Because I would say Venezuela is defiant, even though they clearly were just actually cucked. Mexico is cucked, do you guys think? Cucked brat. Defiant. On it. We're doing a poll. So it's either going to be cucked brat or defiant. Venezuela is defiant fully. That's what I think too. We'll make, we'll do that. We'll fill that in. They're like fucked over because of their situation. That's why they're not like fully fighting back, but they like hate us. Brat is going to be brat green. Yeah. Cucked means they like, you know, like have to do our bidding. They're not strong enough to have their own political will. They're stuck kind of doing what's going to be advantageous to them and not pissing off the United States too much. Okay, we got the poll up for Mexico. So everybody vote, and we'll fill it in. Everybody vote. Isn't this a fun activity for today? A nice little Friday activity. So it's not like we're working either for May Day. We're having fun. There's so much to fill in. There's so much to do. Oh, Greenland is defiant. Greenland, they're out there hating us. They're talking so much shit publicly. This is what it is. Could leaders from this country, would they go on the news and say, fuck the United States? It doesn't mean they're necessarily going to do anything about it. Would they say that? Right? Did they? Okay. Voto Gulag. I think Colombia is also a cucked brat. So let's fill that in. Let's get our green for Colombia. Okay. But I feel like Mexico was talking shit about us in regards to Cuba. Mad shit. And came out and they were like, we don't know why the United States is saying they were super involved. They weren't involved. Do you remember when it was like about the cartel? Defiant. Okay. Defiant. I think they're defiant. I put them as defiant, maybe. Talking shit and sending no petrol is not Brad. Cucked brat is more aligned with the U.S. than defiant is. The poll is wrong. People think the poll is wrong. Green is cucked brat. Yeah, so a cucked brat will talk shit, but when push comes to shove, they're not actually going to fuck with you. They're not actually going to fall out of line, right? Defiant is like, we'll fall out of line once in a while. What are you going to do about it? Yeah, right? Mexico is defiant. Everybody's sad. Mexico gets its own color. Well, let's look up some news. Mexico on the USA. Let's look at some news. News. Let's look on... Okay, Sheinbaum defies U.S. demand to extradite Mexican officials on drug charges. Defies is right there. Declared that Mexico will not arrest or extradite officials indicted on U.S. drug charges, calling the prosecution political. Okay, so here we go. They really are defiant. Defies. Okay. Then what else on Cuba? Let's see about Cuba. Sheinbaum pushes back on Trump over migrant deaths and Cuba. So they are defiant in the news. I think they are defiant. I think they are. I think we were right. You think Bratty Cuck, really? Mexico, Spain, and Brazil are calling for Cuba's sovereignty. Spain, to me, is cucked brat. Spain, to me, they're in NATO. But they're like, you can't use our bases for Iran. What now, United States? Like, Spain is the epitome of cucked brat right now. Would defiant include Russia? Because I don't think Mexico is defiant. No, I think Russia is the resistance. I think Russia is like the resistance, right? I'm going to put Spain in as cucked brat to orient us a little bit on this. We'll come back to Mexico. You know what? Let's leave Mexico empty and we'll come back to it. And maybe by the time we fill in more, we'll have a better understanding. Let's do that. Yeah, I think Spain is like the epitome of a cucked brat. Colombia might even be defiant in that, but they are helping the United States and working with the United States right now on like all that weird drug stuff, right? Very interesting. Okay, so we think Brazil is cucked, not a cucked brat. Even though Brazil does do a lot with China that pisses off the United States. Let's do a little values clarification. Okay, values clarification. Evil empire, the United States and our empire, neo-colonies, vassal states, etc. Then the resistance would be if the United States decided today it was going to take over Mexico tomorrow, who realistically would show up with guns and tanks and bombs to stop us? That's a good way to think of it. If the United States was going to take over Cuba, who realistically would show up and say, not on our fucking watch, right? Think about that. Who would materially be like, you're going to get through us first? And so the answers we have on that, we know Vietnam. Vietnam's preparing to go to war with the United States. They think that's going to happen. We know Russia, definitely. We know China might. China doesn't want war, but China also isn't going to let us get away whatever the fuck we want. North Korea would be sending some weapons in there to help out Russia. Laos doesn't have a lot of money, but in spirit, they'd be like, fuck you. Vietnam, they're like, we're ready. Bet, let's go. Iran, definitely. Yemen, they'd be helping out to the best of their ability, I think. Belarus would be all over that. Like, these are the places. Burkina Faso, again, they got their own problems to worry about. But if they didn't have their own problems to worry about, they'd be all up involved too, right? So, the resistance is the people who were like, fuck you, yes, but also on top of that, fuck you with guns. Like, fuck you with weapons. Like, we will go down swinging because we hate you so much, United States. We will hate you to the point that it kills us if necessary. That's how much we hate you. So they really are the resistance, right? Okay. So then countries that are cucked are countries that are not politically strong enough in the global stage to have their own willpower, and they just kind of go along with the United States and what we want. So this is most of Europe. This is most of the Balkans, almost all of the Balkans, I think. You know, a lot of Africa, unfortunately. But then we have Defiant, and those are the countries who do not, even though they don't have the muscle to fight back materially, they don't align themselves with the U.S. like that. They don't fuck with the U.S. like that. They're going to be more likely to align themselves with Russia, with North Korea. These would be the countries that are allies of North Korea, for example. And then the final is cucked brat, and those would be countries that, like Spain, right? How they're like, we're part of NATO, we're stuck in Europe, we're doing all the shit, but also we're putting our foot down on some things. No, you can't use our military bases. They don't actually fight back, but a few things here and there, they pick and choose their battles, and they're like, no. So they are fully cucked still, but they run their mouths a little bit. They stand up a little bit verbally. They run their mouths a bit. So Turkey is shifting. Turkey is shifting right now. Turkey had previously been a massive ally of the United States and Israel. However, yesterday we were taking a look at how they are shifting all their alliances to be potentially going to war with Israel. They're trying to ally themselves more with Iran. So I would say that Turkey now classifies as either cucked brat or defiant. Right? So, like, yeah, I would say, like, Germany is not an evil empire on its own, but is super cucked. So that's the kind of stuff I would say. Portugal, cucked, right? Let's fill in that stuff that we know. And the more we do this again, the more it'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. Okay, switch to color mode, color. Okay, so, like, Portugal's cucked. You know, think about, too, the only difference that's going to be hard in Europe is some of these countries do stand up to us a lot, but Germany doesn't really. I would say, is Norway the one who owns, it's Norway, right, that owns Greenland? So I would say that Norway is defiant. Norway was like, we do not like the United, oh, Denmark, fuck. I'm so bad at being European. I'm so sorry, my European people. Denmark. So I would say Denmark is defiant. Because Denmark's like, we'll fight you. We'll fight you, the United States. You think they're cucked brat? Okay, maybe they're cucked brat. Greenland's defiant, because there's a lot of indigenous people there, etc. Okay, we'll say Norway's a cucked brat. Okay, I like that. All right, that makes sense. I could see that. Okay. Denmark, yes. Okay. What is European? The westernmost peninsula of Asia. That's what I meant. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But let's go back. Okay, so let's go back to focusing over here. So we're going to skip Mexico for now. All right, what do we think about Central America? Do we have any thoughts? Panama is totally cucked, right? Panama is super cucked by us. What do you think about Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, Belize? Any thoughts on this? We're in Central America right now, so we didn't do El Salvador yet. What do you think about El Salvador? All the Americas are cucked except Venezuela and Cuba. And I would say Colombia is cucked brat. I do think this whole region, though, Mexico pending, I think all these other regions, I would say cucked. Nicaragua defiant. You think Nicaragua defiant? Anybody else want to back up Nicaragua defiant? El Salvador's beyond cucked, yeah. Nicaragua, defiant? Okay, we'll do it. Okay, then let's get into the Caribbean. These are all... Oh, all the little islands. We'll figure that out in a sec. Okay, what do we think about the Caribbean? What do you guys think about Haiti? Do you think Haiti is the resistance? Are they currently the resistance? Or are they too busy getting fucked over? Still. Haiti is... Okay, we'll do Haiti then. Haiti is the resistance. Puerto Rico? I'm glad it's its own thing. I'm calling it the resistance. They are the OG resistance. They are. We can vote, refer back to the Nazi vote for Latin America. Okay, let's go. Let's look at it. The Nazi vote. Where's my Nazi vote? Is this a Nazi vote? Yes. Okay. So who voted against it in Latin America? So restricted: Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Georgia, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Iceland, Ireland, Italy, Japan, of course, Latvia, Liberia, Liechtenstein. No. I'm looking for Latin American countries. Mexico abstained. Interesting, Mexico. They're like, we're right next to the Nazis. We can't. I don't see any Latin American countries in here. They all were like, yeah, they're Nazis. They're Nazis. Fuck them. Fuck them. So, okay, so what did we... Do we have any decisions about Dominican Republic, Jamaica, South Mexico? I think Mexico might be cucked brat. I think I'm changing mine, but we'll do it later. Are they all cucked? The default state of the world, I will say, is cucked. I think it is. So somebody would have to be really stepping out of their way to not be cucked. So if we don't have anybody we're thinking of as doing that, you know, I think we should default them to blue. Get in there. Get in there, all these tiny islands. I also don't think any of these islands are really putting up any. These are actually the islands that tend to agree with us the most on the most fucked up shit. What do you think about Trinidad and Tobago? Trinidad's cucked as fuck, right? Okay. Get in there, little island. Okay. So that just leaves Mexico. We'll come back to Mexico. I'm leaning more towards defiant for Mexico. Or, I'm sorry, cucked brat for Mexico. I'm starting to. All right. What about Ecuador? Do we have any thoughts on Ecuador? Anybody have any strong feelings about Ecuador? Or should we do a little research? The cucked world is dying, and a new uncucked world is struggling to be born, says Brody. Now is the time of brat. I so agree with you. That is so real. Ecuador is very cucked. Okay. What about Peru? Does anybody have any strong feelings about Peru? We'll leave it blank if we're figuring it out, and then at the end we'll decide if we need to make a new category. We think Peru very cucked, right? Peru. What is brat in this context? So that would be like Spain. Like, perfect example, Spain. I created this category thinking about Spain because I was like, they're still NATO, they're still cocked as fuck, but they're like, you can't use our shit to wage a war against Iran. I kind of think France is cucked brat because sometimes France is like, we're not backing your stupid war in the United States. That's why we had to rename all of our French fries Freedom Fries when I was a teenager. Yeah. Okay. What is the Big Got Co question? I don't see it. You just joined. What do the colors mean? Sherlock's welcome. So blue is the evil empire. Light blue are people who are cucked by the evil empire. Pink is the resistance, people who are standing up against the evil empire. Purple is the people who are defiant against the evil empire, but not necessarily standing up like materially. And green is a cucked brat. That's someone who is cucked by the evil empire, but will speak their truth once in a while when they think it won't get them bombed. I think France is also cucked brat. I really think so. Okay, so what about Peru, though? Did we decide on Peru? I think actions would be like Spain being like, you can't use our bases. Or France, for example, we're not backing your war on terror. Things like that. Yeah, Spain is defiant. No, I think Spain is cucked brat. I think Spain is still cucked as fuck. They're not actually fighting back. But they're just like, no. And I feel the same way about France. France, you don't cucked brat, you run your mouth, but you don't actually. You just like to talk your shit. Yes, Haiti defiant. Okay. France is actively trying to assassinate Ibrahim Traore because they're still cucked as fuck. But once in a while, they run their mouth a little. Right? So that's why they're not defiant. They're bad. They're still bad. You don't think they deserve brat no matter what, really? But think about, again, not their personal ethics, how they relate on the geopolitical stage. So they're not succumbing to the will of the dominant empire. They are still bad. Spain's still bad. These places are still bad, right? You think most of Europe should be evil empire? France helped Israel build their nuclear program. Yeah, we're kind of focusing on the relationship with the US-led global empire. Exactly. Not their own nature of evil within their borders. You don't think France... Okay, maybe France used to be brat, but isn't anymore. This is my thing, too, with my bias, because I remember the freedom fries. So we will just call them... Well, I could see putting France as part of the evil empire. Do we want to do that? What is France's position on Iran? What was France's position on Iran? Ian. Oh, France says Iran fundamentally responsible for regional tensions. They're evil empire. I think they're evil empire. They're evil empire. I'm putting them evil empire. France, evil empire. Fuck them. We do have different standards, but that's kind of why it's fun. It's not very serious. I think it's okay. I think it's all right. Yeah, they're us. They're evil. They're bad. Okay, so let's go back over here. Let's go back to South America. So do we decide on Peru? What do we think about Peru? Just cucked? My mother country is doing harm. You think? Oh, G7. Yeah. You think so? Who are the numbers change? G7 countries: Germany, France, Canada, Italy, Japan. Italy, Germany, Canada. So that would mean switching Canada from cucked to evil empire. I don't mind this. Canada's evil empire. Okay, I don't mind this. So we're doing the G7 countries as evil empire. So France, Germany, Italy. Fuck, who are the rest? Canada, France, Germany, Italy, the United States, the UK, and Japan. And the other two we already had. Okay, I like that. That actually makes sense to me. I like that. And then I would say everybody... Autistic baddie, CIA, even assaulter. Oh, yeah, yes, I love this. Okay. Larry said so. Do it. I like Larry. Norway is still killing people. But is Norway... I would say they're cucked. A cuck can still do evil of its own within its borders. Right? Hurt people. So, just gotta put that out there. They can be hurt a little by us, but then be like, and my solution is to want to be just like you, Dad. You know what I mean? They're all cuck. I think they're all cuck. Kabashi's correct. We must censor France and French. Norway's hurting it now. It's our problem. I still think, yeah. But wait. Let's not go to Europe yet. Let's go back. Let's finish up South America. Chile for a while was defiant, but now I think they're cucked. Is anybody going to argue with me saying Chile's cucked? For a while, it was like, oh, they were standing up a little bit, but now, no. I think they're just cucked. Okay. Uruguay, I think... I put one of Uruguay and Paraguay different. Yeah, Chile got cucked. For a minute, Chile was like doing some cool shit. No, fucked and cucked. Okay, Peru and Bolivia. Anybody have any feelings about Peru and Bolivia? Because otherwise, I'm gonna put Peru cucked. Peru cucked, yeah. Peru. That's when you combine. I actually have a plan for Peru and Bolivia to become one bigger country called Peru. That's what I said. Peru. All NATO countries cucked. What about Bolivia? Bolivia defiant or cucked. State your cases. What's the argument for Bolivia being defiant? It is a cursed version. I know. We're literally making the camps. Or cucked brats. I don't know, Larry. What's your argument for Bolivia? What are they up to? What do you think they're doing that gives you some... Baru is just South Fresno. It really is. What do we think? Bolivia's helping the U.S. Okay, we're going to call them. I'm curious for Larry's argument, though. Because sometimes some people throw you some ringers. The people are defined, right? We have to separate between the people and the government. Every country has a resistance movement. But we have to think about the country, the government, the power source. If you're fucked and cucked, it is a bad threesome. I'm gonna fill it in. I'm gonna fill it in as cucked. But if anybody has, if Larry wants to come through with a good argument, I'm open to changing it. Okay. What about Guyana? French Guyana is just France, right? They are evil empire, French Guyana, because they are technically still France, aren't they? Okay, we're doing it. All right. Guyana and... I've never said the name of this country out loud before, and I'm really scared to do it. It is a French colony. Okay, so I'm putting there. Suriname. I did it. Okay, so both Guyana and Suriname cucked. Paraguay, I'm thinking maybe evil empire. I think Paraguay might be evil empire. Okay, I'm filling this in. If anybody has any arguments, let me know. Suriname. I'm putting Paraguay evil. I'm putting them evil. All right. Uruguay, I'm going to say cucked. Unless they're defiant. I don't think they're defiant. Uruguay? What's up with Uruguay? What's going on with Uruguay? Very cucked, right? Okay, that's what... Okay, so first time chat. You felt inspired enough by the conversation about Uruguay to come and say they're very cucked and tend to trust that. Suriname. Uruguay's working with China. Are they cucked? Oh, Uruguay's telling the USA to sit the fuck down. Are they cucked, Brad? Or are they defiant? They might be defiant. No one is defiant. Chucked. Yeah, everybody kind of works with China. Trading with China isn't, but cucked brat. Cucked brat. Where's my green? Let's look up some Uruguay. Let's state our case here with Uruguay a little bit. News. Uruguay Broad Front rejects U.S. presence near Venezuela. Okay. They are cucked brat. Uruguay president defies Trump's Don Roe doctrine. I think they're cucked brat. Defiant, maybe? Maybe defiant. Yes, which countries have a DPRK embassy? I actually did this. Which countries have a DPRK embassy and a North Korean embassies around the world? This is a pretty good one. There's actually a lot. But, it's pretty good. Pretty good help. There's one in the UK. But, this is helpful for us. Helpful info for us to have. What about... Okay, but back to Uruguay. Is it possible Uruguay actually is defiant? Or how much is Uruguay working with the USA? Well, let's look up Uruguay, Israel. News, let's say. Uruguay matters to Israel. I think they're cucked brat. Uruguay people call for cutting ties with Israel. That's a people, though. I think they're cucked brat. I think they are. Can we look up articles? Yes, we can. I think they're cooked brat. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's correct. Okay, now Brazil. This is a hard one. What do you guys think about Brazil? I think Brazil might be cooked brat. You do feel like Venezuela is just cucked now? Oh, that's so sad. The fish pool thinks that Venezuela might just be cucked now. How? Brazil is cucked. What do we think about Venezuela? I would have called them the resistance before their president was stolen. But I guess it's how legitimate we recognize the current sitting government to be. I think Venezuela is defiant right now. I don't think they have the material oomph. Okay. We'll keep it then. We'll keep it. You can give an hour video explaining why Venezuela is not cucked or cucked brat or defiant. So, Larry, you think it's the resistance still. You think they're still fighting. Venezuela hasn't fallen. I agree Venezuela has not fallen. I agree with that. I want to hear Larry's position. Larry, your position is that they're still the resistance. Is that correct? I want to hear that. Do we lose Larry? I'm curious. Yeah, when someone's in an abusive relationship. Larry's another streamer we like. When we end our stream, people go hang out with Larry. Yes, and here, chat, listen to this. Okay. You think there are resistance also still fighting? Okay. What the fuck? Why didn't this work? Oh, because I didn't put the H in. It is an hour long. I can't watch it now.
How he oh,
I need a summary. But how much of this is true? Okay, I'm open to keeping them in the resistance. I'm open to that. I want them. God knows I want them to be there. I'm open to this. We have not done Mexico yet. I don't have an entire podcast episode about Tiananmen Square, but I have a resource doc for it. I'm okay with them being the resistance, for sure. I'm definitely okay with them being the resistance. I want them to be the resistance. I feel like the only reason I would say they're defiant instead of the resistance is because of their material capacity to fight back. Like, I wouldn't expect at this juncture Venezuela to show up leading a strong fight. You know what I mean? And that's how I think of defiant. Like, but if they're still resisting, they're literally resisting. Okay. All right, let's do it. I'm sold. I'm open to it. Okay. So through chat, we have a lower threshold to be part of the resistance than I had previously been working with, and we have a lower threshold to be part of the evil empire that I had previously been working with, but I think that's okay. Okay. I'm okay with it, though. I don't mind that. Okay, I know. We're going to record it on Sunday. We're going to do it Tuesday, and then I can't do it very easily with work. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Anyway, long story short. Let's get into Iceland and Ireland. Unfortunately, Ireland, I think, is cucked. Maybe because the Irish government has to vocalize support still for Palestine. Maybe they're cucked brat. But the Irish people, a strong, defiant people. The Irish people, the resistance in my heart. The Irish government, I think cucked and cucked brat. That's what I think. I think cucked and cucked brat. I think Ireland, cucked brat. I think Iceland, cooked. Yeah. Okay. All right, now let's get in here. Now we're getting, the Balkans are going to be easy. I would say there's a case, I believe, for Albania, but everything else in the Balkans is probably cucked. But let's do Belgium and Netherlands. I'm going to call cucked. Cucked and cucked. All right. And then Switzerland, cucked. Liechtenstein, cucked. Austria, cooked. Czechia, Slovakia, Hungary, Poland. Anybody have any complaints about these? It just does it. It just does it because it's occupied. Northern Ireland, it does it automatically with the UK. So sad. So sad. What about, I know it's, but Taiwan is its own country on this map. They made Taiwan its own country. But Northern Ireland, that's a part of the UK. Okay. Wait, I think Poland is cucked. Do you not think Poland is cucked? You think it's more evil empire? Okay. You guys think, okay, I'm open to that. I usually don't think of Poland as like showing up with a big gun backing, you know? Be like, yeah, we'll send our shit in there too. We're all up in now. We're Poland. I feel like they're like, we sent 4 men. But I think they're pretty cucked. Poland is backing Ukraine heavily, but are they doing it like materially? Empire adjacent, not primary. That's what I think. I agree for Twitch. I think they're not like a big major superpower enough. Volunteering to be NATO army in Ukraine. They're pretty active. Poland had an occupation zone in Iraq. Poland evil empire. Let's do a vote. If you guys want Poland to be evil empire or cucked. They put boots on the ground for others a lot. That's what I'm thinking. Poland is for conquering, not conquest. Poland really wants to. Poland evil empire? Poland feels evil empire. Okay, I'm open to it. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Hold them accountable. Okay, let's get into Slovenia, Croatia, former Yugoslavia. As a former Yugoslavia, what do we think about here? I think this is all cucked. Albania is the only place Luxembourg cucked. All right. Montenegro, Kosovo. Okay, this is, somebody had feelings about North Macedonia. Croatia, cucked. Did I do Croatia? Yeah, cucked. Okay, so what do we think about Serbia? Do we think they're defiant? Or part of the resistance? Kosovo? You think Kosovo evil empire? Really? You think Kosovo evil empire? This is the thing about NATO. I also think Poland is cucked. We could theoretically make all of NATO the evil empire, but I don't know. It doesn't feel right. I think some of those people are too weak. You think I think Poland I could see either way. Do you guys, I can do a poll. Hold on. Poland. We're going to do a poll. All right. The Poland poll is at. The Poland poll is at. G7 is evil empire, not NATO. Right. Okay, I'm erasing Poland. Debating. We're debating Poland. Okay, the vote's up there. Vote. Tell me what you think. Poll. I'm inclined to think, my instinct was Poland is cucked. That was my instinct. Serbia defiant. I think Serbia defiant. I would say also maybe Laos is defiant and not evil, or not the resistance, just because of how weak they are. I'm gonna change Laos to Defiant, maybe. While you guys vote on this. Yeah. No. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Laos. Okay, we'll keep it because it's commie. We'll keep him commie. We'll keep him commie. Our commie brethren. We'll keep them in there. Yeah, our commie brethren. What happened to your Norway? We didn't do Norway yet. Haven't got that far north yet. All the communists. Okay. Cambodia too. What did we do? We do Cambodia? Oh, we didn't do Cambodia. Do you want to do Cambodia? Well, let's wait till we get there. Let's go in order. All right. We got the Poland poll going on. Cambodia is complicated. Yeah, we'll get there in a second. Popo, cut. All right, we're doing it. I like that. That feels good. Okay. What do we think about Moldova, Romania, Bulgaria, North Macedonia, Albania, Greece? Anybody have any strong feelings? I feel like the default needs to be like you're cucked, and then it's like there's an argument made that you're not, or that you're more evil than that and have more agency and are actually a major player. All Balkans are cucked. Okay. This is kind of what I thought. Yes. I thought Albania was up to some good shit lately, though. Let me look at why I was like, I think Albania might be a cucked brat. I had some thoughts. Let me look. Oh, no, never mind. Albania's fucked. It was not Albania. Was it North Macedonia I was thinking of? Greece. Albania's a pick me for sure. Was it North Macedonia? Oh, I need to hydrate. You're right. Greece, incredibly cucked. If you were Balkanized videos, you're cucked. Yeah. There was somebody though where I was like, oh, they're kind of stepping up a little. It was somebody in the Balkans. Who was it? Was it not Montenegro? Bulgaria. Maybe I'm thinking of Bulgaria. You think there's liberalism influencing chat's camp decisions? What do you think? What do you think, Virgo? Don't do that. Share it with us. Serbia, maybe just that. You think Poland is evil empire? I think Mexico could be cucked brat. I think they're either cucked brat or defiant. Yeah, probably. We can probably change that. Oh yeah, here, edit legend. Hello, move. Oh my god, theoretically, maybe it's because of this. No, it won't let me drag. I'm not allowed to drag. Okay, it won't let me right now. We'll deal with that later. There isn't a resource doc on Tiananmen. Really? I thought I did. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Corey. I'll have to put something together then. Transnistria is not on the map as its own place. Moldova cucked, though. Yes, I agree with Moldova cucked. Let's do Mexico cucked brat. I like cucked brat for Mexico. I'm into that. Okay. We'll do it. Poland is the big one. What is that? I want to know, Virgo, what do you think about Poland? Kind of. What do you think about Poland, Virgo, that makes you think that they have more of an active role than a secondary one? I think cucked can be as nightmarish as the Imperialist powers themselves. They just have less of a say in managing the empire. Leaping Larry says, I agree with Larry. That is my thought. They're still doing bad shit. They're just not as in control of the bad shit. What is this for exactly? Us. It's for our understanding of the camps of the world. It's a fun little treat for Friday. For discourse, to get us to talk about like where these places are geopolitically. Well, let's take a look. I'm gonna I guess I'll undo Poland again. Well, shit. How do I this fucking thing? Okay. I'll undo Poland. We can revisit Poland. Let's look up some news about Poland. I have news that is very, very funny. I did not know Transylvania was real. I didn't know that until recently. I am not. My partner said something about Transylvania implying it was real, and I was like, and it's not like my first reaction was that's not real. My first reaction was, shit, I guess Transylvania is real. And then I was thinking, and I was like, but it's not a country. Is it a province? Is it a city? And then I had to ask my partner, what is Transylvania? I was like, my partner looked at me like I was insane. I'm telling you guys, I'm bad at geography. And was like, it's a city. And I was like, it's 6767 Charlie Kirk. Kamala Coconut 67 Charlie Kirk Brat. I am a communist, actually. You got it. I'm not a woman. I'm a non-binary. But and communists hate liberals. I can assure you, I hate liberals more than you do. More than you do, because I actually know more about them than you do. That's why I hate them more than you do. But I am a communist. You got it. I'm glad I look like a communist. That's cool. I'm flagging. I'm flagging commie. Not a woman or a liberal, but yes, a communist. Your sister didn't know Croatia was real. Okay. Well, so yeah. So then I was like, I just haven't thought about Transylvania. So when my partner said it, I was like, I guess it must be real. I haven't thought about it since I was like 7. But then I was like, I don't know what it is. I would have assumed it was a small country, but it's not a country. I know too much about the world, so I know it's not a country. What is it then? Yes, to be defiant, you have to be consistent. I agree. If you're not consistent, you're just cooked rat. Okay, Virgo says, I think even though the EU and Trump are at odds, that the EU and NATO countries aren't absolved of evil empire status. They're still actively complicit as arms of those orgs and the UN for the violence of neoliberalism globally. Are we measuring how camps are relating to Trump or with each other? I think we are measuring how they are relating to each other. I think that standardizing all NATO countries are the evil empire, I could be open to that. I definitely agree that all the G7 countries are the evil empire. Just a region of Romania. Yeah, I was informed. I know that now. I was told it was a city. I don't know how accurate that is. Yeah, I hate liberals so much we got a whole day where I fight with liberals. Today. It's Fuck Off Friday, but we already did that. Cultural region. Oh, okay. Well, to my credit. Cultural region. It's a little... Right. Oh, what's the Charlie Kirk guy saying about gang violence? I feel like I didn't even see that. I feel like I'm not seeing all of this person's stellar replies. Okay. What does chat think about the baseline of NATO as the evil empire? You know what? I will say... Why is Russia not listed as evil empire? Is that a joke? Are you a joke? Why would we list Russia as evil empire? Who are you? How'd you get here? NATO constantly spreads. This is what I'm thinking. It's like, is Finland really the evil empire, or are they just cucked as fuck? And NATO's like, we would love to park some shit there. You know? I kind of feel like Finland is like, we would... Hey, what's up? Can we use you as a parking space? Yeah, that person's lost. Yeah, Sage on Twitch, you're lost. I'm so sorry. You're lost. Kubashi. Okay, you think that Poland is okay? We'll pop Poland in. We'll pop Poland in. That's fine. I could see Poland going either way for sure. I'm fine with both. Both make sense to me. I'm okay with that. Yes, I agree with Larry. NATO, being in NATO doesn't necessarily mean you're calling shots in NATO. I think that is important to note. You could be super cocked. I reckon, child. Yeah, that's kind of my default thought too. Okay. Have fun, reckon, child. Have fun, have fun. Who helped Cuba? Oh, you're saying about Russia. Yeah. Clearly, yeah, they're helping Cuba. They're not. Cuba doesn't call any shots. Or Poland doesn't. Okay, Poland, I'm leaving Poland open. Poland is a source of contention for chat at the moment. Poland, people are not sure. We're going to leave it open. Let's fill in all the obvious ones first. I feel like in doing South America and Central America, it became obvious that Mexico is just a cucked brat. Right? Okay. So I think that's okay. I think that's let's table that for a second. All right. So what about Romania, Bulgaria, North Macedonia? Does anybody have any opposition to calling them cucked? Yeah, Larry's argument is that NATO means you're either cucked or evil. Yes. Or you can be a bratty cuck, but you're still cucked. He's like, you're not really. There's no way you're defiant or the resistant, certainly. You can be cucked, but be like, no, once in a while, but nobody really cares. Nothing's going to happen. We know you're not going to really step out of line. Okay, Romania cucked. Okay. All right. We are going in. I'm filling it in. All right. I still just feel like this is Belarus. I know you guys told me it's Russia. I'm like, that's Belarus. Okay, I'm looking at the picture. Hold on. Okay. Interesting. Anti-Zionist sentiment in North Macedonia gives you 2 life sentences, 3 death penalties. I don't know if that's real, but it feels like it could be. Okay, Turkey. Turkey is... Turkey we gotta talk about. Poland we're holding on. Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. Any objections to cucking them? They're beef with... No, okay, here is the thing. Dia Materialist. Turkey is now fully preparing for war with Israel, as we know, but that is affecting how they relate to the rest of the world. They are upping all of their ties with Iran, and they are also upping their ties with Somalia because of the Somaliland shit. It's fundamentally altering their entire relationship with the rest of the world. And that's new. That's current. That's like within weeks that's happening. You don't think Ukraine is evil empire. I think Ukraine is the same way I think South Korea is and Taiwan is, because I think they're effectively vassal states of the United States. Like, I think they've lost so much agency that they are just us. That's just our colony, basically. That's my take on Ukraine, South Korea, Taiwan, right? These are like, even though Taiwan's not a place, you think that's cucked. Because I think at a certain point, you get so cucked, you just become us. Like Argentina, right? Like, you know? that makes you want. You're just Japan, obviously too, but I mean, Australia. They have to do what the empire wants. That's true, but at what point are you basically just the United States versus you actually are your own country and have a little bit of agency? Because I think at a certain point, you just become the United States with a different name, in which case you are us. So to me, Ukraine is that, South Korea is that, and I would argue Argentina is that too. Are those my biggest ones? Yeah. And Azerbaijan. They don't manage the empire. What does ROK have an empire? But I think ROK basically is the USA, right? And the USA managed the empire, and that just like is us. Like we colonized them basically. It's like a I think that once you hit neo-colony status, you get treated the same way the United States does because you are us. You're just our military outpost in the region. That's what I think. They're like a colony. Yes. I think of them like a colony of us. Like, so I would treat them the same way I treated French Guyana. Guyana. You know? Yes. So Comrade Dexy. Australia is basically U.S. military base at this point. So that's kind of what I think about it too. But Larry thinks that muddies the waters of evil empire. Okay, what if we add a category that's max cuck? that's evil empire neo-colony. Right, Getwald, but it's still all in the name of liberal capitalism. Max cuck. We'll do a max cuck category. I like it. Okay. We could do this. Or like something where it's like you're a colony. Colony in all but name kind of a thing. So that would be like Ukraine, Azerbaijan, South Korea, Taiwan. We're working on it anyway. I would put that there. Australia, I'm still going to give them some more agency. Argentina, maybe? Cuck Max. We need so many more. The chat is never, I know, it's pretty good. I'm really liking it. This is a fun activity for us, I'm telling you. If we don't finish it today, we can work on it next Friday, too. Just a bunch of autistic queer Geminis making decisions. Cuck maxing. Well, okay. I'm adding that. I like cuck maxing. I think that helps. Maps Monday. Yeah, we can update the map every day. Once it's filled in, we can change the map every day based on what we've read. It's fun, right? Larry likes it. I like it too. Paraguay is evil empire still. We can call them cuck maxing. Do you guys think they're cuck maxing? Cuck maxing. Okay. We'll leave that there because they technically are their own country. Qatar then, cuck maxed. Cuck maxed. Qatar cuck maxed. All right. Okay, then is Poland cuck maxing? No, it's not. Do we do Poland cuck maxing? Poland's a hard one. Okay, Kubashi, where's your comment? Let me look. Okay, where is it? I'm looking. Kubashi. Where? Okay, look at the amount of U.S. troops on each country's land. Poland has 10,000 U.S. troops on its territory. South Korea has 20,000. Yeah, that's actually a really, really good point. That's actually very, very smart. I know, but Poland's so hard. Are we doing Poland cuck max because we can't make a decision that feels like a compromise, or is it real? That's what I'm saying. I think wait. UAE cuck max, that I would believe. You think cuck max fits. It's real. It's real. Okay, we're cuck maxing. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do Norway, Sweden, Finland, all cucked. Do we want to call... I think this is pretty obvious. Okay. Yeah, this looks right for Europe. This looks right. Okay. All right. So, look. We can do West Asia. Not far West Asia like we just did, but West Asia. And then Africa's the hardest for me. So I'm going to need... That's going to take some more time for us to get into. Okay. But let's get into this. Georgia. Thoughts on Georgia? I would say Georgia is definitely cucked or cucked maxed. Make Poland dark gray and the label is Poland. Okay. You know what? I actually kind of fuck with this idea. Here's what we're gonna do for Poland. And then we're adding this Poland derogatory. Okay. Norway should be defiant. They recognize Palestine. Okay, we can do that. I'm okay with that. Well, not defiant. I would say cucked brat with Norway. Well, that's why... Okay, so Joe Zachar, I did put derogatory. So nobody thinks we're unsure. Norway recognized Palestine. Virgo, okay, what's your request? Canada recognized Palestine. Vatican evil. Vatican also not recognized as its own country on this map. Norway cucked brat. I could do Norway as a cucked brat. I could give them cucked brat status. Oh, you meant to say you think they should be evil empire, Joestar. Okay, I see. Well, let's leave Poland like this for now. So Poland doesn't divide us. Poland's taken so much from the world. Don't let it take our beautiful relationship from each other right now. No, I feel like Poland is interesting. And if we find any other countries that are similar to Poland, we can also lump them in as Poland derogatory, and we'll know what that means. Yeah, recognizing Palestine's not a bar. Yeah. Can we please just summarize the camps for the chat? Yes. So, evil empire means you are part of the United States. Well, now we changed it. So, evil empire is basically you are one of the G7 countries. Okay? So, that's evil empire. Then we have cucked, which is that you tend to go along with what the G7 countries want. Maybe you're in NATO, you support the G7 countries. You don't have a lot of political willpower to go against what the G7 countries want. They kind of rule your life. Then we have a cucked brat, which is a cucked country who does once in a while speak up against the G7 countries and go, I actually think that's bad, but doesn't have the political will or strength to really fight back in any meaningful way. And then on the flip side of the cucked brat, we have the cucked maxed, where you have been so thoroughly cucked, you are essentially a neo-colony of one of the G7 countries. You are operating as a military base. You are basically USA light at that point. You are so cuck maxed, you don't even have your own agency. You are Ukraine. You are South Korea. Like, you're just, sorry, babe, you got subsumed kind of vibes. All right, so that's the evil contingency. Then on the flip side, we have the resistance. These are the countries that are actively fighting back against the will of the G7 nations. These are the countries that are like, no, fuck you. You don't get to do that. Not on my watch. Like, we will send troops. We will send armies. We will fight you. Iran, most obvious example of this, I think, right? Russia, also. North Korea, yes. China, yes. And then after that, we have defiant countries. These are countries that don't necessarily have the political power to fight back, but they are fully, vocally, and allegiance-wise in opposition to the G7 countries. So Greenland currently, and this map's ever evolving. So Greenland currently is like, we don't want to be invaded by one of the G7 nations, so we are defiant. But they're not, you can't actually count on Greenland to show up with fucking guns and drones and shit and start battling, right? Yes, an quintessential example of each. This is what I think. I think the quintessential cucked brat is Spain. Spain is still a part of NATO. They are still Europe, right? They're not good guys. But they are like, no, United States, you cannot use our military bases for your war with Iran. Okay? They're the essential cucked brat. Cuck maxing. The essential cuck maxing is South Korea. They're basically a neo-colony of the United States, and we know that, right? The essential defiant country. The essential defiant country is, what did we put in here? Serbia, we don't have any essential defiant countries filled in yet, actually. We can work with this a little bit more. We can work with this concept a little more. Hold on the defiant countries. The essential resistance is Russia, is Iran, kind of thing. And the essential evil empire is the United States. Right? Laos, I might position as being more defiant, but, you know, they are Marxist-Leninists. That's true. And so they are, you know, Laos, they are resistance. Big Gotko is Poland, derogatory. Okay, so let's get into Turkey. Turkey's interesting. We talked about Turkey, obviously, yesterday for a long time, everybody. Turkey's switching things up. Yeah. I would say that Turkey is defiant right now. I think Turkey might be the essential defiant right now. They are switching up all their allegiances. They want to be on a winning team. They're swapping it out. You know? I think Turkey is turning the tide. Yeah, I think they are defiant at the moment. Yes. Okay, wait, I need a bathroom break. We're almost done, but we'll go a little bit late. I'm going to take a bathroom break. I'll be back in like 5. I won't forget that I'm streaming and just end up on my phone. I promise. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Did I miss anything? Did I miss anything? Hello. Okay. Have we hit save? Save. The map. The map. The map. It's saved. It is saved. Okay. All right. I at least want to finish this region before we get into more. I at least want to do that, right? Okay. And then we can work on it again on Monday. We can do Max, Matt. Yeah. Do you think Turkey cucked Brat? I think they're defiant. I think they're newly defiant. They're like preparing to go to war with Israel. You don't think they're quite there yet? Okay, you pinned a hopeful summary. Okay. Evil Empire, you are G7. Cucked, tend to go along with G7, unopposed, maybe Poland. Cucked Brat, sometimes speaks out against G7, but can't oppose meaningfully, Spain. Cucked Max, essentially a colony of G7, has no agency, Ukraine, South Korea. Yes, defiant, don't have the power to pack back, but are in opposition to G7, Turkey. Resistance, actively fighting against G7, Iran. Then what would be the defiant, if not them? What would be defiant? It's too new to be sure. But they're not the resistance. They're just defiant. What's an example of defiant then that you guys think? Who is defiant? Okay, but then if they don't go, then who? Then what's that category for? What's that bucket for them? Palestine's the resistance, though. I think Palestine's the resistance. I think Cuba's the resistance. I think we're saying all the if we're saying Laos is the resistance, then Cuba's definitely the resistance. Right? Iran, definitely the resistance, though. Iran is like the fighter. Iran, China, Russia, North Korea are the fighters. Right? Palestine's the fighters. So then who is Yemen? I could see Yemen being defiant. But we put Yemen in as the resistance. Oh, shit, I didn't mean to do that. Eep. Sorry, Sudan. So then who... That's why I think Turkey's defiant. Right? Okay. Antimatter matters. Yemen's fired shots. Turkey didn't. Yes. So I don't think that Turkey is necessarily... You know what I mean? I think to be part of the resistance, you got to put your money where your mouth is. You got to show up with fighters. Right? Turkey's not in the same category as Spain. Spain still cucked. Cucked Brat, though. Right? Oh, that's what you're saying. I'm agreeing with you. Yeah. Turkey did still help overthrow Syria, but they're switching. So the map is in constant flux. Big Gakko. No. Nobody ever let Big Gakko have the controls. Okay, so Syria, we're going to say defiant or cucked Brat? What do we think? I think we keep Poland. I think we keep Poland on its own for now. I get it. Definitely cucked now. I kind of think Syria's cucked too. We could say cucked Brat. Are they though? I kind of feel like they're just, it happened. Syria's like Ukraine. Yeah. I would say not as extreme as Ukraine, but yeah, cucked for sure. I don't even think they're bratty anymore. Syria, you think Syria's cuck maxed? I think Turkey's correct. I'm standing by Turkey. I think Turkey is the epitome of defiant. Okay, so Syria, do we think cuck maxed? Oh, God, I hate this. I hate this that you have to do this first. Okay. I'm open to Syria being cuck maxed. It would not be my instinct. But no, ISIS CIA is running Syria. Then we're gonna say cuck maxed. They're cuck maxed then. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay. Now, what about Cyprus and Lebanon? Cyprus, I would just say, is cucked. But Lebanon cucked? Yeah, we'll change them. I feel like every day if we find something we want to change, we can update the map, you know? Is Libya cuck maxed? We kind of abandoned Libya, though. Maybe they are cuck maxed. Okay. You think Cyprus might be cuck maxing? Cyprus has elections this month. Here's what will be interesting. Cyprus is used a lot by the US and the UK. I mean, yeah, Lebanon, I feel like the thing about Lebanon is that there's groups within Lebanon that are, but Lebanon on the whole isn't. It's a bit bratty. Lebanon I could see is bratty. Wouldn't Defiant be better if Lebanon's being attacked? Yeah. Let's make them Defiant. Let's make them... No? You don't think so? Yemen? Did we do Yemen? We didn't do Yemen yet, did we? Yeah, we did. Yemen's listed as resistance. Lebanon wants to disarm Hezbollah. Right, so that's what I'm saying. There's groups within Lebanon that are defiant, but Lebanon as a country isn't. So that's why I said Lebanon was cucked. Yes, exactly. So Yemen, my initial instinct was also that Yemen was maybe defiant, but that's also not the official government of Yemen. Lebanese government wants to disarm Hezbollah. You think they're cucked? I think I could see that. Yeah, I agree with that. Which of these camps would I say is most similar to the Third World? Maybe the defiant category. The Third World would either be a cucked brat or defiant, depending on their power. Yeah, it feels weird to call a country cucked when they are currently direct targets of genocide. That's true. Maybe we could come up with a different category for them, which is like they are actively fighting Israel. It would open the defiant category up to more options. I think opening the defiant category up a little bit more monthly might be good to do, you know? We could have elements are, but not the state, exactly. We could have like this could go for then Ireland too. It could be like divided. Like we could have like a divided thing. So many categories, I know. But really, it's two camps and then an undecided third. New category. It's complicated. I wish there was like ways. Well, what we'll do is we'll make these like color scales of each other, and that'll help. I can't drag it. The app doesn't work. I can't drag it. I have to do it on my phone, I think. Right? So, cuck maxing. Okay, so like, for example, like this will help. Oops, no. Evil Empire will be dark. This will be here. So then your blues are that. Okay, so then your resistance is bright pink, and then your defiant is light pink. And then your cucked brat is brat summer. Okay. So then what we would do is we would add in purple would be divided. People versus government, something like that. And that would be in between. Scale. So they are scales. They should be a scale, right? So, right? And even the cucked brats could be a light purple or something like that. They're not quite in the middle, but they're like, eh. So if we do that, we have to take away our brat summer, but she's more clear. She's like a light purple. We know what she's about now. Nope, that's not. It's too pink looking. Right? And then we give ourselves a stronger purple that is going to be like Lebanon. Stronger purple, stronger purple. And then this new category is going to be divided. Politically tumultuous. We probably don't need that clarification. So then that would be Lebanon. That would be Yemen. That would be Ireland, I would say. Right? Brat was it. Well, it's a kink reference, but then it became a it became a Kamala a Kamala Charlie XCX reference. What is their cuck index? Yes. Yes. I think this is happening. I think this is making sense. Are there any other countries that are politically divided that we would like to add in? I think, like, when you view it as a color scale, it makes a lot more sense. It's not actually a lot of camps, you know? It's just a few camps. Do you guys think that there's a strong enough resistance group in Syria to add it? The bell curve, if you will. Okay, bye Virgo. Have fun. I have to jump off soon too. There's it's two camps in the undecided. Exactly. It's a spectrum. It's a spectrum. Do you guys want to make Syria purple too? Is Syria complicated? I don't know. I feel like Syria is fully cucked, actually. I think they are. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to call Azur. Oh, no, they are cuck max. I did it right. I want to just finish up here. If we could finish up here before we get into Africa, I'll be happy today. Map is looking very bisexual. You think Bahrain is divided? I kind of think Bahrain's divided too. I can see that. All right. So then what about Iraq? Do we think Iraq is cucked? So light pink is defiant. So the pink colors are the resistance and people who are not fully resistant, but defiant. And then it really is two camps and people are on a spectrum of how much they belong to them or not. And Poland is a black hole where bad happens. And Big Echo, I don't think it's about an unpopular or for popular opinion though, because I really do think there is some questionable areas like Lebanon and Yemen. You're like, because there are these major resistance movements within them, and they are. Think about how often like power struggles occur, and I think when we get into Africa, we're going to see a lot of this. One of the reasons Africa was so hard for me to do is because the United States is so destabilized Africa, like Europe is so destabilized Africa, that there's a lot of warring factions who are battling for power, and there will be countries where one faction has more control over this area, and another faction has more control over this area, and they swear they're alliance different people. So I think that that's why it's interesting. I think that Iraq is cucked now. Yeah. I think Iraq is cucked. Nope, not Poland. They're not Poland. They have an armed resistance though. Oh, Iraq's divided. Okay, yeah, I can see that. That makes sense. Okay, Iraq divided. All right, so what about now? We've got the UAE, we've got Saudi Arabia, we've got Oman, and we've got Jordan. My instinct would be to start with them all cucked. Yemen, you think Yemen's definitely the resistance? I think it's just the Houthis, though. Yeah, we'll put Jordan cucked. Cooked. Half of Yemen is resistance, right? So that's why we did divided. Houthis is wrong term. Oh, is it? Okay, what is it? Hezbollah. Wait, what is it? Cooked. Yemeni are protesting against empire violence. Only the Western media calls them Houthis. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, I also said nuclear for a long time because of George W. Bush, so I'm not above my American roots. I think Yemen has elements, though, that are. I think we should do that. Larry mentioned Yemen has one government that isn't recognized by the West. That's why I think they're divided. I think that's good. The map will change every day. Oh, it will. Every time we do this, at the end, we'll update the map. That'll be our final close off. I think Yemen's divided, though. I think that Yemen is politically... Shit, what the fuck did I just do there? I think Yemen is politically divided. Oh no, that is part of Yemen. See? I'm so fucking bad at this shit. I think it's Yemen. They're not divided. One is Cocteau, one is resistance. That's a division divided. Yeah, and I think in Africa, we're going to see a lot of that. That's why I'm like, we do need this category, because once we get into Africa, there's a lot of that. There's countries in various stage of takeover or pushback or whatever, and I think that's going to be... They're the formal government of Yemen, but the West refuses to recognize it. Oh. You know what? Here's what I think. We'll put them as the resistance. That makes sense. I'm going to unfill in Iraq because now I have questions about Iraq and where we should position them. And I think we're just going to have to do this. I think we're just going to have to do more of this next week. I think it's just going to take more time. And we know now we can come with some research if we feel passionately about anybody and want to make a pitch. Maps Monday. We're going to start doing Maps Monday. But once we have it all filled in, we won't have to do any more again. So Monday will be the continuation of this. It'll be another special feature, and we will do Maps Monday until the map is filled in. And then after that, at the closeout of every stream, we'll make any changes to the map we want to. Okay? So that's what I think we do. All right? And then everybody can go to their protests, and I can start my work day, my personal work day that I'm doing. And I think that's what we do. Yeah, we stream from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then sometimes so it runs late. I know. 200 neurodivergent people versus 200 countries. 2 hours. We'll do more though. I think it's fun. Killing you. This is very Americentric. This is our American maps, what they look like. Because really, if you think about it, North America is the same size as Africa. So did you think about that? Lib? Okay. We're working on her. She's a work in progress. I only want to kill some of you. It is smaller. I mean, all the little blue, though. You get your light blue, but yeah. It's not as intense as you would think. Yeah. All right. Okay. This is a fun project today. We will finish it up on Monday. We are going to finish it up on Monday. So bring any pitches you have if you feel like you weren't sure. The areas we're going to focus on will be Africa, will be Saudi Arabia and UAE are going to be interesting convo, so get ready for that. And then the remaining parts of Asia and then like Oceania that we haven't done. Okay? Yes. All right. I'm going to send you all to Larry. Is Larry streaming now? Larry's streaming now, right? Larry got started? It's so fun, right? It's really fun. Yeah. I'm into this. Very good. Okay, good. Yeah. Well, we'll send us there. And then, yeah, we'll make more changes next week. Yay. I hope everybody has a really good weekend. And I'll see you Monday. Bye. Thank you all. Thank you for being active contributors in the map making process. It was so fun. Okay, right